Hey everybody, Tim Rickman here, and I'm trying something new. So the other day I got a really interesting comment on one of my videos, and it made me consider all these thoughts and feelings that I have about origami that I don't really have a chance to share because I don't really know a lot of other people in my personal life that share the same passion for designing origami that I do. I know some acquaintances online, but most of them are either younger people who are still trying to get through school and they're busy, or they're other YouTubers who have a busy schedule of their own. We don't really get a chance to sit down and have in-depth conversations about the art of origami itself and ways that we feel about stuff about origami. So I thought that a great way for me to have an outlet for me to talk about origami and try to get some interesting discussions going on would be to start an origami vlog. So that's what you're watching now. If you like this sort of video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below for suggestions for other videos that I could do. I'm going to continue to do these, but if you guys really like it, I'll do it more. Okay, so the other day I got this comment, and it was literally like the first thing I saw when I woke up. I fell asleep with my computer on because my sleeping schedule has just been kind of wacky lately, and I needed some soothing music to listen to when I fell asleep. So when I woke up, I looked over at my computer screen, and I saw this comment. So Srinath Hariharan writes, about the complexity of your models, like, do you think maybe you could make the same model in an easier way? As in, I've made many Pegasi, whatever. The ones by Montral, Abnel Fourier, and so on, but the one by Kamiya Satoshi is much tougher than the others, but if I keep them side by side, they all look very good. So at first, I didn't really know what he was asking me. I thought maybe he was asking if I could design a model that I had in a simpler way because he liked the subject of my origami, but wanted to be able to fold it a little more easily. I get asked that question every once in a while, but I followed up with Srinath, and what he was actually asking is if there's a technique that you can use in origami design that allows you to fold a complex structure in a more simplified way. And at first I wanted to say yes, because I'm an optimistic person, and it seemed like the right thing to say. But the more I thought about it, the more I changed my opinion. And I'll take you through my thought process there. Thought press. So he gives the example of several Pegasus models, and maybe I'll add pictures of these in post or put links in the video description below so you guys can check out what he's looking at. But basically you've got 3 Pegasus models that are each of different levels of complexity. You've got 2 kind of mid-level, and Satoshi Kamiya's is a little more advanced. So sometimes you can compare origami to other art forms, and if you use the example of writing, how many words does it take to describe a Pegasus? Well, if I walk up to a random person and I say, hey, what's the name of a winged horse again? They're going to give me a funny look and say, a Pegasus. Unless they're a Harry Potter fan, and then they might say a Thestral. It's a good idea for a model. So essentially, you can describe a Pegasus in 2 words, a winged horse. And when you're designing origami, what you're doing is adding folds to a piece of paper so that you can describe a subject instead of using words. So if you're designing a Pegasus, all you have to do is make a horse, which is kind of complex. You got to get all the proportions right, but then you include wings. And if you plop that down in front of somebody, they're going to say, that's a Pegasus. So in the example he gives, it's not taking a complex structure and making it more simplified. It's taking a simple idea and making it more complex. Now, if you guys are following my work, you know that I like to design complex structures. And a lot of the times my subjects are not only something like a Pegasus, but I choose specific characters. Now, a character like that requires more descriptive words to portray, like Smaug, Ridley, Jabberwocky. In order to convey the subject of the model, I have to add more detail to it because each of those characters has specific traits about them that differentiate them from even members of their own species, if there are other members of their species, I don't know. Like, for instance, Smaug. Now, Smaug is a dragon, but he's also a serpent-like dragon with powerful back legs, and he's got claws on the top of his wings. And not only that, but something that differentiates Smaug from other dragons of that type is he's missing a scale on his chest. And I've even included that detail. When I'm designing a model, what I look at is the smallest detail that I think that I need to add to that model in order to portray it accurately. And then I use that detail as sort of a measuring stick to get the proportions right for the rest of the model. So what we're looking at now is the crease pattern for a model. And all crease patterns can be represented by circles and rivers. It can't really be broken down any further than that. That's a representation of a model in its most basic form. Each flap, each segment is a circle and a river. Each origami designer is going to come up with a slightly different variation of how to construct that model, but if they're all portraying the same features, the crease pattern is going to look similar. It's going to have the same amount of circles and rivers, more or less, and there's really no way to simplify the creases that are involved in the relationship between those circles and rivers. But someone who is studying origami knows that if you take the crease pattern for a circle, as long as the center of that circle is anywhere on the paper, even on the edge or in the corner, you can still collapse that flap. And if it's pushed all the way to the edge, you've essentially cut in half the amount of paper and the amount of creases it takes to create that flap. I don't like to design origami from anything other than a square of paper, and that has to do with the standardized ratio of border to surface area of the paper. But if you change your concept of what origami is and you use other starting shapes that have a different proportion of surface area to border, you get more of an opportunity to make some of those circles on the edge of the paper, which does simplify the design of a model. You can make more complex structures in a more simplified way. Is that a yes to the question? To me, not really, because I don't think origami designed from anything but a square is really origami. It takes away from the challenge because of that difference in the aspect. But ultimately, my answer to the question, is there a technique you can use in origami design to create more complex structures in a simplified way, ultimately is no, you can't. If you guys come up with a way to design origami that's more simple than whatever is out there, I would love to know about it. I think the whole origami world would love to know about that. There's not too many breakthroughs that are still happening in the world of origami. You know, we had curved creases come up recently, and that's about it as far as we know. But there could be something new coming up, and you could be the person to figure that out. Who knows? Alright guys, that's about it I have for this video. Serenith, I hope I answered your question. If I didn't, get a hold of me and we'll keep talking about this. There is one more thing I wanted to mention. At the beginning of the video, I was talking about how sometimes I get asked to make a more simplified version of a model that I've created. It's not really something I'm into, but I do have my how to box pleat origami design videos, and as some of you guys know, if you have any questions or want some suggestions for designing your own models, even if it's something that's inspired from something I've designed and you kind of want to do your own thing with it, I'm always down to talk shop, talk origami. So get a hold of me on the official Rickman Origami Facebook page, on YouTube, and I'll do my best to answer any questions that you have. Alright everybody, this has been really fun. I hope this is something that we can keep doing. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share it, like it, comment below, do whatever you do that makes the YouTubes go. I love all you guys, and that's it for this video. I'm done. Alright, see you guys in the next video. Bye.